Well, Jordan, thank you for coming on the red carpet round table.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited.
You're very welcome. What can you tell everybody about yourself and what attracted you to get into the country music?
Yeah, absolutely. So, my name is Jordan Mohr. I am 21 years old and I am a country artist. I lean towards country rock music. I grew up on rock and I just thought blending the two of them was what's true to me. And what drew me to country music is the story behind the songs. I feel like it's very story driven. I love all the instrumentation on it. And everyone can have their own opinion on genres, but I love country music the most, and I love every aspect of country music, the world, the business behind it, everything.
And was it like your dream since you were little to get into country music?
It actually was my dream to be a performer, and I didn't know what that entailed. I was in musical theater for 10 years, and when the pandemic hit, I had an opportunity to demo for a songwriter, and I walked into this huge studio and demoed this song. And to me, it was like an aha moment of this is what I'm supposed to do. This is my career. This is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
And the minute since I stepped into that studio, I've been following this dream, and I'm just so blessed to have found what I love so young, and just to be able to work at it every single day is such a blessing.
Wow, and you do perform at other places, I noticed.
Yes.
Out of all the places that you perform, as of right now, which one is your favorite?
Oh, goodness. Well, I've played a bunch of original music and cover gigs, but I also perform the national anthem a lot. So they're two very different things. So when I did the national anthem, my favorite one was the Monster Jam Orlando. It was held at the Camping World Stadium, and I sang in front of 40,000 people, and it was the most insane moment. I was nervous, and I don't know, I just kind of locked in, and it was such a huge moment in my career, and I was so grateful. And then the video ended up blowing up on my Instagram and TikTok, so that was also crazy. So now close to 5 million people have seen that video. um so yeah, that's my favorite time I've ever done the national anthem. And then probably, oh gosh, that's hard. I think one of my favorite shows was at the Florida Music Conference. That was
Hmm.
my first year of performing, and it was a full band show, and it was all original music, which is very hard to find shows that you get to play original music at. And we had 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks to prepare, and it was just kind of rehearsing every single day. With the band, I think we only had 3 rehearsals before we performed, and there are huge artists playing at the end of the night, like John Kay. He has totally blown up in the music industry, so I got to meet him and his band, and yeah, that was probably my favorite show so far.
Wow. And how do you come up with the music with your lyrics? How do you write
Yeah,
those?
that's a great question. So I have some really great co-writers. I can't take all the credit. Um, I usually do come in with a concept when I'm going into a write, or I have a melody line or some lyrics. But for me, my process, which everyone's process is different, the melody and the music has to come first for me. So I will be just strumming my guitar, and I'll start mumbling words or find a melody that I like, and I'm constantly recording because once I sing something, I'm not going to remember what I sang. So I just start spitting out lyrics, and almost all of the hooks of my songs have come out that way just by me singing random lyrics. And again, not every song, because some of my co-writers come in with a really good concept. And so yeah, the process is different depending on who I'm writing with, but I usually always come in with a melody or a few lyrics or just a hook idea, and then the song just starts rolling.
Wow. And now I know some singers, country music singers, and all the list goes on. It's based on their life and about their lifestyle and what they've been through. So is your music that you write and your lyrics, is it based on your life so far?
Yeah, it is. A lot of my songs, you know, I I don't like to trash anyone, in my songs because, I'm only 21. So a lot of the songs that I've written about people, we were young and we were immature. So I just kind of take those experiences and twist them a little bit so that they're more relatable to other people. But, I have the cheating songs. I've been through that. I have the songs of kind of letting go of a part of me. I've done that. And, the last song that I just released, Boots, was a true story for me. I've had not one, but multiple people while in this career that have tried to tear me down and tell me that I'm not going to get anywhere without their help. And I always stick my ground and I don't feel like you're stuck to one person. There is not
Hmm.
one singular person that is just going to push your career forward. It is a huge group of people. You have to have a lot of support behind you. So whenever someone tells you you're not going to get anywhere without me, it's not the truth. So that's what my last song was about.
And what is your dream? Where do you see yourself in 5 years? What I mean, like, I
Oh
know you said you're
gosh.
21, but
Yes.
what's your dream?
So my dream, honestly, I would not mind being famous. That would be awesome. But I don't feel like that's my end goal. My end goal in music is there is no end goal. Music is constantly moving. But to me, I'm going to be so happy with where I am if I'm just supporting myself and my future family while doing what I love.
Hmm.
So if that's performing at even smaller venues, I just want to have and connect with people that connect with me and share my stories and help them get through experiences that they're going through and know that they're not alone. And as long as I'm performing, releasing music, I am so happy. But that doesn't mean that I don't have things that I would love to accomplish. Like, a dream of mine is performing at the Grand Ole Opry. I would love to perform there and be invited to perform there. And I'd love to sell out a show that's headlining, that I'm headlining. I'd love to open up for an artist that is much larger than I am. I love artists like Megan Morani and Ella Langley, Lainey Wilson. They're huge hitters in country music right now, and Kelsey Ballerini is also one that I love. So just even opening for an artist like
Hmm.
that would be such a huge deal.
Right. Now, if you mind me asking, where are you currently living?
So I currently live in Orlando, Florida. I've lived
Hmm.
here for 95% of my life, and the goal in the next few years is to move to Nashville, but right now I'm just doing what I can in Orlando, performing, working on guitar and songwriting, and just me as an artist to,
Hmm.
I want to be ready and I want to grow my social media. I love connecting with people on socials. And yeah, I love to live in Tennessee. I've been to Nashville many times and I absolutely love it there. So that I will live there at some point, but right now we're in Orlando.
Right. It's the home of the country music, of course.
Yep.
Can't talk bad about Nashville. So, what, where can people listen to your music? Spotify, Apple Radio, where can
Yeah,
people
they
tune in?
can find me anywhere. I'm on any streaming platform that you have, and it's all under Jordan Mohr. And my last name is Mohr. And all my social media is Jordan Mohr Music. And if you are trying to find everything, but everything is kind of scrambled, my website is a great landing page. It has all of my streaming platforms on there, social media, merch, all of that, and that's just jordanmohrmusic.com.
That's amazing. Now, who has really impacted you in your life so far?
Oh gosh, I would absolutely say my parents. They are my biggest support system. I would not be where I'm at without them. I am so lucky and I thank God every day for giving me the parents that I have because they are there every step of the way. They are at every single gig, every practice. They won't leave my side, and that is so important to me, especially as a young girl in the industry. You have to have a strong support system, and I definitely have that. And they have shaped me who I am. They've let me make mistakes, they've let me learn from them, and they're the best people I've ever met.
That's amazing. Now, your parents probably never thought they should be seeing you singing. Is that correct?
Oh, I mean, they knew that I would be doing some type of performing in my life. There is a really funny picture of me when I was like 3, I think. And this guy was singing on stage, and I just marched up on stage and grabbed the microphone from him and started singing. So they knew that it was going to be something where I'm showing my personality. I've had a very
Hmm.
big personality my whole life, and they knew that I would be doing some type of performing, whether it was musical theater or country music or anything, singing, performing. They knew I would be up there.
Wow. Now I gotta dig into your guitars. Now, is it true that a lot of country singers have a guitar they really like and it's their favorite one?
I would say so. I only started learning guitar like 3 years ago. I'm going on my fourth year of learning. And I knew when I started country music that I was going to have to learn how to play guitar because it's such an important thing in specifically country music. And once I started, at first it was just like, oh, am I going to get this? It's so hard. But I had a great teacher. His name is Michael Walker. And he's like, we're going to fast track you and we're going to make you play in a few weeks. And I'm like, okay. So my parents gifted me this guitar. It's a Taylor GS Mini. And I learned everything on that. I loved it because it's a smaller size. And I had this guitar for years that we got at a garage sale and it was massive. I mean, I was like this trying to play it. The strings were old, and so it was impossible to learn on. So learning this was great. And I love every single one of these. This actually isn't mine. This is my guitar teacher's, or not my guitar teacher, my guitar player in my band who just left it at my house, and he just leaves it here for me to play. Because he has like over 10 guitars. But I got this guitar last summer. It's a limited edition Tuck Mini, and I love it so much. It's a full size, the first full size I had, and the first and only one
Hmm.
that I have. And it is just the sound is beautiful, and as it gets older, it's only going to sound better. So it's definitely my go-to, but every single one of these has, a reason why I would play them. This is a Fender thin line, and I love using it when I'm going to be playing for a while or I'm going to band practice or my back hurts. It's so light. So, I definitely love something about each of these guitars, but this one is my baby.
So it is true that every person has their favorite
Yeah,
one.
I
Right.
think so. There's just one that you connect with the most.
Right. And how do you memorize the lyrics? Because when you look at the guitar, it's all these strings. It's not like a piano, it's not like ABC. So if you mind helping the audience understand a little bit more about guitars, like how do you learn?
Everyone learns differently. Someone very close to me that is learning right now, he learns great on YouTube. He picks up really quickly on there. I cannot learn off YouTube. I don't know why. I'm more of a one-on-one person. So for 3 years, I had one-on-one lessons every week for about an hour or two, and that was really important in learning. A huge thing is kind of figuring out what's the best way can I learn, what works best for my brain because everyone learns so differently. And mine was writing things out on paper and reading it. So with chords, they kind of become second nature because you're learning them. And when you're playing songs, you can't really be thinking about where your fingers go on the
Hmm.
next one. So I would pick three chords and I would just play them over and over and over again until I wasn't even thinking about where I'm moving my fingers. So now, even when I learn a new chord, I'm not really thinking about where my hands are going because it just becomes muscle memory. So, and practice is a huge thing. I struggled with it in the beginning practicing, but you know, you kind of have to get into a routine and kind of catch yourself when you kind of just sit into a zone where you're like, oh, I'm
Right.
comfortable here. No, you gotta keep pushing. I'm about to book a very long session with my guitar teacher to get my guitar chops up because I think they've been stagnant. So it's
Right.
okay if you get to that point, but I want to learn this instrument.
Hmm. That's amazing because I've seen on YouTube folks, I say guys and ladies, trying to learn, especially young kids, trying to learn how to play a guitar. And you just sit there. For me, I would get frustrated because it's like, wait a minute, hold on. This is how do you find the lyrics and the A B and the A's and all that stuff, and you're trying to sing at the same time. It's like your mind would go nuts, like you have to pull your hair out.
Yes, it can be very irritating, and I definitely dealt with a lot of irritation with guitar. But something that my instructor told me to do was when I'm starting to feel that angst, put the guitar down, take a 5 minute break, and come back to it. And you'd be really surprised on how you'll pick something up just putting it
Hmm.
down for a second because I would be going over a lick a million times and it was getting worse as I started playing it more. So I would just put it down for a second, walk around the house, take a little step outside, and then I go back on it and I'm like, oh, I'm getting this. So you have to be very patient, but it's okay. It's normal to get irritated.
That's good to hear that because I think a lot of people who'll be listening to this and watching this will be glad to know it's like it's okay to get a little
Yes.
anxious. And so now, who is your dream person that you want to perform next to?
Oh goodness. That's a hard
Female
one.
or a guy? I mean, a gentleman. I want to say gentleman the correct way, but who would it be?
Right now, I would love to write with her, be on stage with her, anything. It's Avery Anna. I've been following her for years. I can't, before she was even releasing her own music, I was following her. And I recently saw her in a concert, and she's such a great person. I love her on social media. She connects with her followers, and I would just love to perform with her. She's great. So she's my dream right now.
How about a gentleman?
Oh, that one's hard. Um, Gosh. Hmm.
There's so many out
I
there.
know I'm going through all of them in my head. I'm like, right now, this is might be a little bit of a shock, but I absolutely love Jelly Roll. I love who he is as a person.
Interesting.
Yeah, I mean, his voice is just
Hmm.
crazy good.
Hmm.
And he's doing so much good in the world as well. His wife is also doing such great things on social media, and they're so supportive of people, and you can just feel the love radiating off of them. So Jelly Roll is a huge inspiration for me as an artist, and I would love to be on stage with him.
Wow. Amazing. Now, I want to get into this topic real quick about mental health. And if
Absolutely.
you mind, how do you, as yourself, as a young person, can help tell your story that helped you to n- help yourself to get through mental health? And what's your message to other young ladies out there and young gentlemen out there who wants to follow the footsteps?
Yeah, well, I would say you have to believe in yourself, even if you have to fake it. There can be so much doubt, especially because this is a competitive business, even though it shouldn't have to be, it should be supportive because there's enough room for everyone. So find your people. That will help you so much is when you find people that truly want the best for you and truly will support you in any step of your journey, whether you're rock bottom or you are on top of the world, you want those people in that support system.
Hmm.
And something I struggled with a lot in high school was anxiety. But one thing that I always told myself is that I wouldn't label it because I feel like labeling it was defining myself as someone that had anxiety. And I didn't want to give it that much power. So even though I was struggling with it, I tried to not think about it. And then I realized that probably wasn't, wasn't a great move. Now, this isn't something for everyone, and this is not me pushing it on anyone, but something that really helped my anxiety was becoming stronger in my faith. I got baptized about 2 years ago, and when I started trusting in God and everything that He has in store for me, the difference in my anxiety was absolutely crazy. I just felt Jesus's love like pour all over me and just tell me that I'm going to be okay, and He's going to do exactly what is meant for me. And also, anytime I was feeling anxious before a performance, I would pray. I would pray with my mom or my family. And I also would turn my anxiety into excitement and be grateful for
Hmm.
the opportunity that I'm about to do.
Right.
When you're about to sing in front of 40,000 people, it is terrifying. But I was like, how crazy is it that I get to step on stage and sing the national anthem in front of all
Hmm.
these people? So I just turned it into gratitude and excitement to do something, and it was a life-changing thing for me. And that doesn't mean that I still don't deal with anxiety for certain things, but I have it under control and I
Hmm.
have things that help me overcome it.
That's very true. Anything can be done with God, and that's true. I totally
Absolutely.
agree with you. That's amazing. And congratulations on being baptized.
Thank you.
Very welcome. Now, I know I asked you what's your long-term goal, but what's your short-term goal? I know you said you want to move to Nashville, but what is your short-term goal? as
Yeah,
of now?
absolutely. So I want to be releasing music every 8 weeks right now is the goal, and I have so many songs lined up. I want to be writing and performing as much as possible. I had a little trouble stepping into the gigging world because I I'm someone that feels the need to memorize everything, so I don't have an iPad when I play. So it takes me longer to put sets together because I'm not just reading it. I'm memorizing it and I'm performing it for the people that are watching me.
Hmm.
So it's taken me a little longer, and when I'm changing up my set list, it takes a bit because I'm putting together a show rather than just showing up and playing whatever covers. So, I want to be gigging as much as possible, learning new songs, mastering this instrument, which no one is ever going to master the instrument, but I'm going to just keep grinding. I continue to do vocal lessons and just going to find who I am as
Hmm.
an artist and where I land and my audience, my supporters. I have such great supporters that, they make me feel so loved every day. And I just want to keep connecting with people and performing for them and meeting them. And yeah, just kind of doing everything, a little bit of everything
Right,
and
right.
what I want
That's
to do.
It's amazing, to bring back what you're saying about social media, because I love social media. And, you meet people through social media. You make the connection. And I feel like that in the entertainment industry, you meet people.
Yes.
It's crazy, but you meet people in the
Yes.
entertainment industry. And I think as an entertainment industry, from actors to models to singers, we're a family. We all
Yes.
become a family in the social media, right? Or in real
Yep.
life. You meet, and that's one thing I love. That's where the support comes from.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. I actually signed to a talent agency a few months ago in Central Florida. So it's not music related, but it's more commercials and acting and modeling. And I shot my first commercial, which I can't say what it was for, but 'cause it's not out yet.
I try to understand.
Yeah, I was just background, but I met so many incredible people, and they
Hmm.
had all been actors for a very long time. And it was so interesting to hear about the actor world and how similar it was to the music world. And it was, yeah, I loved connecting with
So,
people.
are you
And
going
now,
to get into, pardon me, I'm sorry, are you going to get into
yeah.
acting?
Well, I've done tons of acting and musical theater. I don't think it's going to be my main career, but I mean, we all saw Lainey Wilson. She was on Yellowstone, so I wouldn't mind doing some acting jobs. I definitely might need a little bit more coaching, but you know, at least I booked my first commercial.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Really, congratulations. Now, in Florida, I know I just gotta ask because I don't see Florida being a country music state, but is how is the country music doing in the whole entire state from Florida, from Miami to Orlando to Palm Springs, etc.
Yeah, so it actually is a little bit of a challenge that I've run into because all of the songs that I learned were country music, but when I was reaching out to venues like just bars or small venues where you're just kind of background music, they all were like, oh, we don't really want country music. And I was like, oh, okay. So now I've had to learn a little bit of every genre for those gigs, but I have an area near me. It's a city called Claremont, and they are huge country music lovers. It's a lot of farms and land out there. So I kind of found my people over there. I hosted my first Nashville round, which not everyone was country, but a good majority of them were.
Hmm.
And we got such a good reaction and so much love wanting us to do more events. And we have Ole Red Orlando, which is a country bar, Blake Shelton's bar. And I'm hoping to get in there. But it is, a little bit of a challenge for the country music world here. But, you find your place. And
Hmm.
luckily, social media is a thing. So I'm able to share
Right.
country music on social media.
Hmm.
And, I'll be in Nashville in June. So, I'm figuring it out.
You
But
moving in June?
no, I'm visiting. I'm recording 3 or 4 songs
Hmm.
in June, and then hopefully doing some writers' rounds and some writes.
Wow, congratulations about your recording in Nashville.
Yes, very excited.
Do you feel like country music is growing a little bit in Florida?
I would say so. We have a pretty big country radio down here. I definitely think that there's tons of country music fans, but it's not like Nashville.
Hmm.
Nashville is all country music, or most of it, country rock. But California has more pop music and R&B. So it's you just gotta kind
Yeah,
of
every state's different. Pardon me, like New
yeah,
York and California, and they're
yep,
kind of like I guess pop and
yep.
a little bit of singing as well. So that's totally true. Now, do you have any siblings?
Yes, I have an older brother.
And what does he is he involved in the entertainment industry?
I always thought that he would do great in the entertainment industry. He actually was the one that started musical theater before me. And like any other little sister, you want to be just like your big brother. So I started musical theater and we actually did it together for, I think, like 9 years. We were in a very competitive high school program. He was getting leads going to nationals for the show, and he has one of the most beautiful voices I've ever heard. I still think he's one of the best male voices that I've heard. And I'm not biased, like, it's my true opinion, even though he's my brother, and but I,
Family is family.
yes, exactly. So I wish that he would have, pursued it a little more, but he has always wanted to be a lawyer. So he is actually kind of he graduated college and now he's, applying for law schools and he has gotten into some. So he's on that. He's so smart. His level of smart is just crazy. We're both smart in different ways, but he's very book smart. He has read hundreds of books,
Hmm.
and he's just, yeah, he's going to be more in the law business realm career wise, but a lot of his musical theater training is actually helping him a lot being a lawyer because you have to be so big and kind of put on a performance when you're in the courthouse. And,
Right.
I don't know too much about the world of law, but I think he's gonna excel in it.
That's amazing. And he must be so proud of you that you're just continuing on, the career of singing and
Yes.
everything.
Yeah, we still love jamming out in the car together. And, sometimes when my guitar player comes over and we're rehearsing, he'll come down and he starts singing, and it's always fun. And music will always be in our lives. And I'm hoping to post some covers with him. He's so busy, but, hopefully you'll see a little bit of my brother on my socials soon.
Amazing. We can't wait. Now, what's your messages for any young talent out there for young kids and teenagers, boys and girls who are going to be watching this interview, listening on podcast, and maybe following on social media, who's wondering and who may be saying, I want to be like Jordan. I want to grow up and be like you. What's your message for your encouragement, your motivational quote, or your speech?
Yeah, so something that I always, say, especially when it's a message to anyone that's younger than me or even someone older than me that's just now pursuing this career, my biggest number one advice is to not compare yourself to others. That can be so heart-wrenching. It can hurt you, it can tear you down, and you have to believe in yourself. Don't compare yourself because everyone's story is different. Everyone might get somewhere slower or faster than you, and you just have to trust in your love for music and your want to be in the career to just keep pushing forward, work as hard as you can every single day. And if you feel stuck, that's okay. That's normal. You get into kind of a funk sometimes where you're like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. And just finding someone that you can talk to that can kind of help you get over that is really important. And anyone that comes into your life that may be in the music industry that is trying to change who you truly are, stay away. Always stay true to who you are. Don't change who you are, what you believe in, how you want to dress. Now, hopefully, my style will develop a little better when I, keep this going, but I'm always going to dress the way that I want to. I'm not going to show more than I want to. It's just staying true to yourself is so important.
That's true. That's 100%. Stay true to yourself, be yourself, and keep the courage and keep going.
Yeah,
I
even
think
if
you
you feel
just,
like you might not find your audience because, oh, no one's going to relate to me, I can guarantee you will find your audience. You'll fit right in to a certain group of people. Don't change who you are to try to fit into someone else's
Mhm.
world.
That's true.
Yeah.
My next question, what is your why?
My why? My why is I I just always have this want to perform inside of me, and I feel like if I don't do that, then I wouldn't be doing what I love. And I've just had this kind of fire in me since I was very little to be on stage, no matter what it was. I just wanted to be on stage singing my heart out. And I just love sharing stories. Music has gotten through me has gotten me through so much in middle school, high school, now. And I just kind of want to share that side with people. I want them to connect with my music and feel like they're not alone and so many rough things that we have to go through in our life.
Wow. That was a powerful speech right there. It really is. It's true, and it's amazing that you love what you're doing. That's the quest thing, key thing. Love what you're doing. That's 100%. You know, now you said you're gonna hopefully move to Nashville. Is there anywhere else you want to move to or anything else?
I don't know. I've done the up north thing. I lived in Wisconsin for about 5 years, and that was way too cold for me.
Los
So,
Angeles?
oh, I don't think so. I don't think California is the place for me. Um, yeah, Florida is hot and I don't want to go anywhere hotter. I want to have seasons. I want to Tennessee. The minute I visited there, I was like, yep, this is it. We got all 4 seasons. There's a little bit of snow, but it's not horrible. It's just for a little bit.
Hmm.
I just love the people. People in Tennessee are so nice.
Right.
And, of course, the traffic there is horrible, but traffic is no better. So to me, it's like, it's okay. I would
Right.
rather be in
That means you
Tennessee.
can't live in Phoenix. There's no season.
Yeah. So my family has always wanted to live in the mountains. So whenever I move to Nashville, they will be right there with me. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be soon. I don't want to rush anything. I feel like God will bring me there when it is
Right. Amen. That's
time.
the truth.
So I just, I do love Florida. I've lived here most of my life, and there's so many great aspects of Florida, and there's a place for me here. So, I'm just doing what I can here and take trips up to Nashville.
Hmm.
You can reach any dream you want anywhere you are.
Right.
There's tons of artists that don't live in Tennessee, but if you're at least going a few times a year, then, that's good.
Only God knows.
Exactly.
Yes. Now, what do you tell yourself, your 5-year-old, if you could go back?
Oh gosh. Um, I would tell her that, her mouth will get her in trouble sometimes, but I would never want her to not say what she's feeling because it has helped her a lot. It definitely, throughout my life, kind of sticking up for myself was something that I did do, and I did it for others too, and I still do it to this day. And even though it got me in trouble sometimes, whether with my parents, where they're like, whoa, stop with the attitude, it has helped me. And I would just tell her to not compare herself and don't worry so much about her insecurities that she'll have in the future.
That's true. That's amazing. Well, Jordan, I do appreciate you for coming on. I've learned so much from talking to you and having you on, and I can't wait for many more opportunities and hear your music and see you perform and see you post on your Instagram
Yes.
and your TikTok. What is your TikTok so people can find you as well?
Yeah, so any social media, whether it's Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, it's all Jordan Moore music.
Amazing. And I can't wait to have you back on.
Yes.
You have my support. I'm going to look forward to speaking with you again soon.
Thank you so much for having me. I honestly had a blast. I love talking to people that love music. So yes, please, we'll get back together soon and talk more
Yes,
about
I
music.
found you through social media, and that's what we love about
Exactly.
social media. Like, it's really amazing because, like I said earlier, it's the support because a lot of people when they get into music or when they get into acting or modeling or being a film director or a producer, they're like, wait, there's support in the entertainment industry? And I said, yes. Social media, Instagram, you see how many Instagram, famous people, or non-famous people, you're all on there, you're supporting each other and all these, getting all the support and love. That's amazing. You have your family, but you also have your other family in the entertainment industry that is supporting you all the way. That is what I love a
Me
lot.
too. I love it. The people that I've met on social media, they are my family. I consider them my family. I think about them. I always am wondering how they're doing, and they're always wondering how I'm doing. I love DMing. I'm always DMing my followers and supporters, and yeah, it's just been overwhelm, love, and support, and I'm so grateful. And social media can be a blessing and a curse. But, if you use it correctly and you look at it the right way, it can be amazing.
Yes, 100%. Reaching out, supporting each other. That's one thing I love about it. So thank you again for coming on. I reached out to you through social media
Yes.
and I can't wait to have you back on soon and to hear more about your acting and your music and your upcoming concerts.
Yes. Yeah, well, thank you so much for
Oh,
having me.
and real quick before I let you go, is there any upcoming concerts you're going to be doing?
I actually, I have some smaller gigs coming up. All of my gigs, writers rounds that I'm hosting, anything are on an app called Bands in Town. I always am updating it. You can see where, when, all of that on there. But I do have an original show coming up that is a full band, and I'm super excited. It is June 21st, I believe. I could be wrong, but I think it's June 21st. And it's going to be near Orlando, but all the information is on Bands in Town. I'll also be posting it on my social media, but I'm pretty excited about that show.
Oh, congratulations. I'm awesome. Can't
Thank you.
wait. So thank you again, and I will talk to you soon.
Yes, thank you so much. It
You're
was
very
great meeting
welcome.
you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.